Well, hello there, and how are you? Welcome back to my home studio here in Dublin, in Ireland. And my name is Paula, and I love making and painting abstract landscape paintings. It's my favorite. It's absolutely brings me joy and all of those kind of lovely things. And if that sounds like your kind of thing and you want to follow along this journey, you know what to do. Like and subscribe and follow along for more on this journey. Today I wanted to talk about doubts, and I'll be honest, I'm also having doubts about my lighting choices. I bought a ring light many years ago when I first started this YouTube thing, and then I kind of left it by the wayside, and now I'm back again, revigored, revitalized, all of that kind of stuff. And I bought a ring light and I decided to use it today, and it is very glaring. So this is my current setup. So I'm kind of having doubts about that at the moment. But what I wanted to talk about, aside from my ring light doubts and lighting choices, is those doubts that we have as artists about where our journey is going with our art and whether it's really making sense to us, whether we're on the right path, why are we not as far ahead as we would like to be, all of those lovely things. So stick with me and let's dive into this a little bit more, and let's figure out a little bit of something about maybe how we can work through that. And it's a little bit of about where I've been these last weeks or so, I guess, So let me show you a little bit about what I'm up to as well.
And today I wanted to have a little bit of a heart-to-heart and open up a little bit about what I've been feeling quite vulnerable about, and I think it's something we all face as artists, and that is doubts. Those nagging feelings of, am I good enough? Is my work going in the right direction? Is the work that I've made anyway good or decent? And I've really been feeling this lately, and I thought I'd share how I'm working through it in case it resonates with you. And I'm guessing if you're a creative that it probably will. So one thing that I've realized is that doubt is such a natural part of the creative process. All artists go through it, whether we like it or not, and no matter what stage you're at, it's just part and parcel. And it's easy to get caught up in the overthinking, and I think this is sometimes my downfall. Going through the thought process of, is this idea worth pursuing? Will people like it? Does it even matter if people like it? Should I even bother starting? Will it sell? All of these things, as a professional artist who's trying to make a living out of it, are very real questions that often pop into my head. But here's the thing, overthinking can really block you from the joy of creating. And I've been feeling this a little bit this last week or so. And for me, I think the best antidote has always been to reconnect with play and just creating things that bring that joy back to it. That it's not even for a finished piece, but it's just to reconnect and explore again, and just to sit down and let go of any expectations of where it's going and whether it even needs to be a finished piece, and just really create for the pure enjoyment of it. And this week I really felt a strong pull to revisit watercolours, and I haven't worked with them in ages. But there's really something about their delicateness, their softness, and that beautiful unpredictability that I absolutely love. And I was going through some prints that I had, and they're kind of the end of the line. I only had a few left, and I put them up on my Instagram. And as I was looking them, I was reminded how much I loved painting and creating them. And I used to use a lot of collage in my work, mixed in with watercolors, and I just realized that I was kind of missing that, and maybe that would reignite some of those feelings of just play and creativity and get back to that joy. So I decided to take out my watercolors and clear a little space and just play. And there was no pressure. There were no deadlines. It wasn't a commission. I wasn't trying to make a collection of works. It was just me, the paper, and those beautiful, flowing, unpredictable colours. And it just felt so freeing. And it reminded me of why I had started creating in the first place. There was a little moment of, yes, I'm back in this zone of the flow and the creativity and the joy. But let me be honest, this didn't come without its challenges. When I'm feeling doubts, I often notice that comparison creeps in too. And the thing with social media is it can be such a breeding ground for this. And there are many benefits to social media, but so much the negativity revolves around feeling inadequate or feeling like you're not on track or you're not where you should be or want to be or supposed to be or all of those other shoulds and woulds and coulds. And you see other artists posting their incredible work, like beautiful work, and their amazing successes. And it's so easy to think, well, what am I doing wrong? Why am I not there yet? And what I've learned though is that comparison steals joy, and that I know that's a phrase that we love to say and we hear a lot, but it is so true. And it's okay to take a step back, spend less time on your phone and focus on nurturing the areas of your life that truly need it, your creativity, your well-being, and your gratitude. And so that's what I've been focusing on this last week. When I'm starting to feel stuck in comparison, like I often remind myself, I look over my shoulder and see how far I've come. And I think back to the days when I dreamed of being where I am now. And maybe you're in that place as well. And it's just so good to remind ourselves of, oh my goodness, like a year ago or 2 years ago, I hadn't sold anything, or I was only beginning, or I was only thinking about this and it was embryonic. But now look at where I am. And sometimes it's really good to kind of remind ourselves that I couldn't imagine that one day that I'd be here or you'd be where you are. And so for me, it's a great reminder that I can be grateful. And I remind myself that I get to do this and I get to send art to people's beautiful homes all over the world. And there's practice in that gratitude as well. And yes, there's so much that I want to create, so much I want to achieve. But it's also so important to stop and reflect on how far you've come. And remember this truth, everyone's journey is different. And I know it's such a cliche, but it's true. You can't compare your chapter 5 to someone else's chapter 20. And I think also social media is so good at deceiving us into thinking that, 3 minutes of a video or, whatever we see on social media is everybody's complete life. And we really don't know what's going on in the background. What are the challenges people are having themselves? Like, we all have those little demons and we all have our own challenges that we have to get over. And so that comparison just doesn't really stand up very well because we're all in different stages and different phases, and we all have complex, nuanced lives, I guess. But for me, the key is to keep moving forward one step at a time while appreciating the steps that you've already taken. So revisiting watercolours this week has really reminded me of all of this. It's helped me to let go of those doubts and reconnect with the pure joy of creating, because isn't that what we love to do and why we do it? Fundamentally, that's the essence, isn't it? Like, there's no right or wrong way to do this. This is just start where you are and make space for the process. So if you're feeling stuck in your art, know that I have been there too, like so many times. I can't even write it all down or tell you all about it, but I encourage you to try something similar because I know that pain as well. Pick up an old medium you haven't touched in a while, or use something completely new, and take the pressure off yourself by just deciding I'm not making something perfect. I'm just playing and I'm just creating joy for myself. It's not for anybody else, but it's for yourself. And maybe that's writing. Maybe that's uh, baking. Maybe that's something that's not to do with painting. It could be knitting or stitching or something else that's creative. Um, but I think you will be surprised by how much it reignites your creativity, and brings you back home to where you really want to be. I hope that's been really helpful for you, because for me this week that has been really helpful, and I felt more grounded and more settled in my direction and my creativity and the joy that I want to put out into the world. Thank you so much for being here with me on this journey. I love sharing these moments with you, and I hope you like hearing them and watching them. And I hope today's video inspires you to let go of doubts and dive back into the joy of creating. And if you've enjoyed this video, you know what I'm going to ask you to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more of this content about the ramblings and the musings of art and creativity and the ups and downs of being an artist and being that creative person. Thank you so much, creatives, and I'll talk soon.